Hi, I'm Dawn, and this is where Chevy meets bling. I have been up to my old tricks this week. You know I have. I've been thrifted. I have found some amazing items that are pretty darn cool. And I'm going to use 3 of those items to create some decor, not only appropriate for Easter, but for spring and beyond. This is The Last Thing Thrifted. Joining me tonight are my co-hosts, Marika from Marika Creations, Shelly from Repurpose My Way, Monica from Up All Night DIY, Jody from Jody at Southern Seasons, Annie from Crafting with Indiana Jones, and Zaina from OK at Home DIY. You're going to find links to their channel as well as this playlist in my description box below. Let's get a look at some of my recent finds. At Goodwill, I found this Silex refrigerator jar. It was from the 30s and it was only $3.49. Evidently, it comes with a lid. Mine did not have a lid, but I think I have one in the garage. These things are very, very old, nearly 100 years, and look what they go for. Also at Goodwill, I picked up this candlestick. Kinda cool, right? Really loving all the detail on this thing. And there's its mate right there. Now check out that center section. Doesn't that look like an egg? I mean, you paint this thing just right, and I'm seeing a Fabergé, aren't you? Oh, Fabergé. It's not French. Fabergé's not French. I also picked up 3 more wood canes, and I have done stuff with canes before, like in this video. I'll leave the link in the description box, and I have plans for doing something to coordinate with that project. So that's fun that I found 3 more canes, and I have plans for this. Don't you want to know? Well, you're gonna have to stay tuned and find out. But that's for another day. Now it's time to get to work. I am starting this week's project with these 2 candlesticks. I really liked them, and the fact that Easter's coming and spring is here. Is it really? It's still cold out. Boo, boo, boo. Well, I am starting with these candlesticks because I liked the shape that's in the middle and all that detail, as I said. They were $2.49 each and were originally manufactured by Home Interior and Gifts. I will also be using this thrifted item in my project today. It is an Easter egg cloche, and I only paid $3.49 for this little gem. I thought it was pretty cool. First thing is to clean these little candlesticks up. I am just using a little bit of nail polish and my toothbrush, my old toothbrush, to clean in between the cracks and crevices just to get a little bit of that gloss removed. After I'm done, I wipe it off with a wet rag, let it dry, and then we can continue. I need to attach my bottom of my cloche to the top of my candlestick. So I'm taking the bottom of the cloche and a wood round that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I will wood glue and clamp them together, set them aside, and let them dry. So I thrifted 2 of these green bowls from the Goodwill, and I am going to use them to elevate my little candlesticks. I did get them on Red Tag Week, so they were 75 cents each, and I really liked the shape for a base to elevate something. So I'm just using a combination of my B7000 in the middle of this guy, and then I am going to use some hot glue on the perimeter of the bottom of my candlestick. And then I will hold these 2 pieces firmly together for a moment and let them set. There's a little valley, a little recessed area in between my candlestick and that bowl that I glued together, so I am filling it with 1 time. I'm just using my little spatula tool, and then I use my finger to wipe it smooth. Once this process is done, I will set it aside and let it dry. In between my candlestick and my wood rounds, there is a divot. It's recessed where the candle would sit. So I am using cardboard to fill that little recessed area. I'm going to cut out 3 or 4 of these depending on what it takes to fill that gap. I'm also spiraling a little piece of cardboard and gluing it together with 3-in-1 glue to go in that space where a tapered candle would go. Then I add my little cardboard discs into that little recessed area, gluing them with 3-in-1 glue and pressing them tightly every time I add a new disc. Then when I get that last one on there, I'm gonna flip it upside down and press it nice and tight so all my glue sets. My candlesticks are a pair, so they need to look like a pair. They need to look at least similar in nature. Before I glued that bottom of my egg cloche onto the wood round, I traced it out onto a piece of MDF and cut it out. So I will have a matching top for my second candlestick. All the glues are set, so now I need to add the bottom of the cloche onto the top of my candlestick. I have added 3-in-1 glue on the top of my cardboard that I inserted into that recessed area, and now I'm going around the perimeter with hot glue so it hits not only the cardboard but the edge of the candlestick. You can see how there's a little bit of a trough there. I am filling it in with hot glue so we get an instant hold and then a permanent hold once that 3-in-1 sets. All my glue has dried, so now we move on to the podge. We're giving this entire candlestick, new and improved, much taller and more grand, a coat of matte Mod Podge. I'm dealing with so many different types of mediums with what I have put together that I want to make sure that my paint will adhere. Because we're going to paint it, you know we are, and the Mod Podge for me always helps my paint adhere a little bit better. Now look how much nicer this looks already with all the added elements. I never seem to just leave things alone. Like, it is what it is. I always want to elevate something or add something to it to structurally make it more grander. So once my Mod Podge is dry, we get to start to paint. And I am starting off with a truffle chalk paint by Waverly, and I'm hitting areas that have no color to them or a different color than what my candlestick already is. This is just a base coat. I will be adding a really gorgeous blue and green to this project as well. But this is my base coat. I will come back in at different points with a burnt sienna and with black so that the areas on the top piece and the bottom piece that I added that are brown are going to resemble the exact same color that's in the part that I leave brown in the original candlestick, if that makes any sense. I guess you'll see. My truffle chalk paint is dry, so I am going to seal it with a coat of matte Mod Podge. So the candlestick and the top and the bottom will all be the same at this point. I am now playing on a level playing field, if you know what I'm saying. So all things are equal. The surfaces that I'll be painting on from here on out will all have a coat of Mod Podge. Now for some color, some real color for this pretty little candlestick. You'll see. I am adding this plaid paint. It is a folk art matte and it is called Cloudy Day. It is super pretty and it really coordinates well with my dining room. I am painting the part of the candlestick that I said looked like an egg, reminded me of an egg. I am basically going to make this thing look like a non-blinged out, meaning no gold, Fabergé egg, candlestick, pedestal, dome holder. So I'm taking my time and I'm being very careful because all the scroll work, I am leaving that really pretty brown color. And as I said, I am going to have to try to imitate that exact same color, that brown that I'm leaving on the top and the bottom, at least the areas that I want to be brown. These are really tight spaces that I'm painting here, really tight. So yeah, I'm gonna make a mistake and yeah, I'm gonna have to fix it. And yeah, it's gonna need 2 coats. But can't you see the egg forming? I mean, I see it. Do you see it? Tell me if you see it. Now I paint the bottom and the top. and this is also a plaid paint, also a folk art matte. This is called a Mossy Meadow. I've used this color before because I like it. I mean, you find a color you like and you use it. Hippo gray, right? You know what I'm saying. I am painting the bottom and the top this beautiful color, and I may come back and paint some of it out brown. I'm not sure where I want the green to start and where I want it to stop, so I may alter this as I go. Design is a process, and it's all about visually appealing to your eye, and if it doesn't appeal to your eye, change it. Design can be changed. This is not permanent. It is just paint. It's just paint. Now I'm coming back and touching up the scrolly parts that are on my egg. Because yes, I did make mistakes. Of course I did. This stuff is so tiny. It's itty bitty and I'm old. And I don't see so well anymore. So yeah, I have to touch up. I'm using burnt sienna, an apple barrel, and this is also a matte. In this project, I'm using either matte paint or chalk paint. Now, there's going to be areas you will see later that I paint out the burnt sienna, and I'm going to use that truffle and black chalk paint to make them resemble the scrolls on the egg. And I will stipple the paint on to make that happen. I really want this to look like it was all one piece originally. So I am going to make some scroll work for the top and the bottom, and even some little flowers that resemble the little leafy pattern at the base of the stem of the candlestick. Here are my little scrolls, and I have 4 for the bottom of each candlestick and 4 for the top. I made these. I made a mother mold of a wood piece, and then I molded these out of flower clay. Now I will be doing a video soon, really soon, probably within at least before the end of summer, on how I make molds and cutters and stamps for clay. DIY stuff, you can do it with stuff in your home, and it's so easy, and yet you get something like this. Now, if you notice, I kept my little scrolls in a Ziploc bag because once I cut them out, I wasn't ready to use them, and I wanted them to still be pliable. They are not sticky in any way. They are just pliable. They're bendy. They're going to form around my candlestick where I want them. I am painting the first coat with that Waverly Truffle chalk paint. After my truffle chalk paint is dry, I give them a coat of burnt sienna, and I don't cover the whole thing. I let a little bit of that truffle just shine on through, and if I have any edges I need to trim, I can trim them at this point. But you can really see the dimension on these things. So much fun, so cool, so many ways to use these fancy little scrolls. Once this paint is dry, I will glue all of my little scrolls onto my candlestick with 3-in-1 glue. If you're not ready to use them, even after they're painted, you put them right back in a little Ziploc bag and seal them shut, and they will still remain pliable. Pretty cool. These are the flowers I was telling you about. I also made a mother mold for these little gems, and I just used that mold on my flower clay. I will be putting these in a Ziploc bag, and when I get around to the time I need them, I will bust them out, I will cut them out, and I will paint them, and then they also will get glued with 3-in-1 glue onto my candlestick. All of my molded scroll work and those little flowers have been glued into place. I have touched up all my paint, and now I think it's time to take a look. Here you see an individual candlestick all by its lonesome, probably because I only had one clear glass cloche. And inside that cloche, I have placed a little bunny rabbit and some Easter grass. I love all of the extra detail on this that marry the added parts of the candlestick to the original candlestick. You can really see the scroll work at the top and the little flower. So pretty. So pretty. These pieces are already sold, by the way, and if anyone is ever interested in anything I do or would like something done, you're more than welcome to email me. Just go to my channel, click the More button, and that is where you are going to find my email address. You can also DM me through Instagram. I really love the colors I chose for this. So springy, so green, and that blue. Oh, so pretty. That blue is reading a light lavender for some reason, probably because of the colors surrounding it. That happens. But wouldn't this also be pretty? Just stark white or all in that dark brown? Here are both candlesticks sitting side by side, and both sides are different of each candlestick. Now topping these candlesticks are 2 battery-run candles, and I picked these up at Goodwill for $2.99 each, and they were still in their packaging. What a deal! This gives you a really good idea of what the added scroll work and flowers look like, and the original paint on the scrolls on the egg, and how well I was able to match all of those colors so this all looks original. And now sitting against a white backdrop, you can see the colors are a little more true. True blue and true green. So springy. Loving it, loving it. One more look. I found 2 green glass dome eggs at Aldi of all the places, and I decided, why not? Let's see what they look like on my candlesticks. I just stumbled upon a box. There was only 4 left. There was a pink, blue, and these 2 green, and the blue was nowhere near the color of my blue, but the green was, so I thought, why not? Look how pretty. Look how pretty those glass domes look on there. I absolutely am in love with this. It really pulls out the green that I added in those candlesticks. And I just have little tea light votives under there. Just little battery operated tea lights. So gorgeous. This has been a Last Thing Thrifted. Thanks again to Marika, Shelly, Monica, Jody, Annie, and Zaina. You're going to find the links to their channels and this playlist in my description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, share it with your family, your friends, anyone that absolutely loves thrifting, flipping, repurposing, interior design, or spring and Easter decor. You can follow me on Instagram, and don't forget to check out my shop on Etsy. Leave me a comment. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Ring that bell for notifications of all of my upcoming videos. Subscribe. It's a great way to support my channel. But for now, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.